Mama's you go to breakfast, I'm not happy. Can you see people I'm not catching? I'm not faking this, no fugazi. You see these feelings, I'm not catching. I'm a quest and feet, I just want if I broke now my business. Hey, business. Mama's
Alexa Mohammed.
Good evening, everyone, guys. Are you getting me now? Are you getting me?
Yes.
Okay, you're on board. I can see more people are still joining, and this is my last lecture, second last for online. And I'm going to complete my second topic about game theory. Remember last time we introduced the game theory and the different concepts of games which we discussed. Now I'm going to look at the different types of games which we are going to focus on in game theory. That will be our lecture 4, is looking at the different types of games we are going to discuss. First, the first type of a game I'm going to look at is what we call the coordination games. The word coordination, quote it properly. Why are they called coordination games? Why are they called coordination games? Coordination games. Okay? And we are saying the main key distinguishing feature of these coordination games is that they have more than one Nash equilibrium. When you solve a game and it has more than one Nash equilibrium, it means such a game becomes a coordination game. Why is it called a coordination game? It is called a coordination game because for you to have a final equilibrium position, you need some form of coordination between different players to agree on which one you need to end up with. For example, we have a simple scenario where we have two players, that is James and Tina, where an academic tutor, James, and Tina, that is a Christine, are to publish a paper together. James prefer to use word perfect. Word perfect here. You want to use word perfect is what you prefer, and Tina likes scholars word perfect. And each understands everyone's program, but they prefer using their choice. So the two work at different universities. So they want to choose between these two. Where will they publish? Where will they publish their paper? Is the question. Where will they publish their paper? What do you think? Are they going to publish? Where will they publish their paper? Can I get some responses? This is a simple thing where you need to think and tell me an answer before we solve. Can I get some responses? Mugweri, can you give me an answer? Why do you think they are going to publish their paper? Between here, word perfect, word and word perfect. Where would they publish a paper? Are you able? Yes?
Word.
Yes?
Yes, since everyone prefers to use his, everyone will use his.
No, but the paper is one. They have to publish it in one journal. There are two people working on this paper. One is a tutor, one is a student, and they are going to publish this single paper they're working on, but each one prefers his own. Where will they publish their paper? Okay. Now,
so I think they would have different decisions. I think
they will do what?
Tina might choose. They might have different decisions.
They may have different decisions. Okay.
Yes, I
Let
think
us
Tina
proceed.
might choose word and James might choose word perfect.
But it is one paper. Are they going to divide it?
They cannot divide it, but I think
it will be -2.
Okay, it's not about that. Okay, let us see. When we are solved for the equilibrium, let me show you. This is there. I've tried to put this in numbers. I've put this in numbers. One, James. If James prefers word perfect here, what will be the response for Tina? Tina will compare here. It gets a payoff of -2. Here it gets a payoff of 1. So we will choose -1 is higher than -2. You will choose a payoff of this 1. If this one chooses word perfect, Tina will choose word perfect here because 2 is higher than -2 here. So we choose this. When this one now, Tina moves first and chooses word, this James will compare between 2 and -2 and will choose this. If this one chooses word perfect, then this one will choose -2 and 1. Which one is higher? You choose this. And that means that they will either publish their paper in word perfect, both of them, or they will publish it in word. So that means that for you to pick between this and this one, it is called a coordination game where they have to pick. They have to sit down together and coordinate and say, which one should we pick? That means the coordination you're talking about. They have to choose between these two equilibriums. They have to choose one. This equilibrium and this equilibrium, they have to choose one. That's why it's called a coordination game. It has two Nash equilibrium, 1 and 1, 2. Now, these two Nash equilibrium is for both of these guys, either word perfect. And it may not be enough to tell us where would the final equilibrium will end up. And this game is also called a battle of sexes game. Battle. We call it a battle of sexes game. Why are we calling it a battle of sexes? Here, there are two scenarios we are trying to compare. Two scenarios where there is X, Y, Z. What's the issue? Okay. So why is it called a battle of sexes game? It is called a battle of sexes game. Why? Because there are two parties. Another game can be both a man and a woman are players. They want to go either for boxing match or a basketball, but both of them prefer being together. The woman want to be with the woman. They want to be together. The man prefers boxing and the woman prefers basketball. So where will the two end up? Where would the two end up?
So I think the two will end up either in boxing or in basketball.
Basketball. The two equilibrium will be either both of them
basketball and for boxing and basketball, or for basketball and either of the two.
The outcome of those will also be the same. You have two Nash equilibrium, but we cannot tell where they will end up. We cannot tell. Are they going to end up in boxing or they are going to end up in basketball? Mugweri, what's the issue?
Yes, in that table, I'm not getting how you come up with the one, the -2.
These are the equilibriums. Patricia, what is the issue? First wait. Alinda, mute yourself. Doris Duffin, mute yourself. Patrice Lumumba, can you speak to us?
Yes, sir. Like I think with the question you phrased, I think they will have to coordinate. It's a coordination game and see where they have the best option. They have to coordinate and see where they have the best option, either to go for basketball or to go for basketball or to go for boxing, but not the two. Since it's a coordination game, so they need to coordinate and see where they're in equilibrium. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So they have to coordinate and choose one. Someone was asking me, how do we pick these two one? I'm saying if someone has locked you along here, you to respond, you have to compare the payoff here because it is James responding. Someone has locked him along here. James responding. If he chooses word, he gets a payoff of 2. If he chooses word perfect, he gets a payoff of -2. So which one is higher? You pick which one is higher, which is 2. 2 is higher than -2. That's how we selected that 2. It's about comparison. It's the same thing here. If someone locks you along here, you are supposed to, this one to respond, he has to compare. Here he gets a -2, here he gets 1. Which one is higher? 1 is higher than -2. That's why we selected this one. Alinda, why are you talking in my class? Alinda. Now, coordination game, the main message is they have more than one Nash equilibrium. Mugwei, what is the issue again?
Yes, I knew how you came up with those combination, but what I'm asking is why on 1, 2, you can have a negative and another part, it is a positive.
Okay. Okay. If I don't love something, I award it negatively. So it is these numbers, you can generate it using the message here from this example. So if someone says, I prefer, what you prefer, you give it a higher score. What you don't prefer, that means that these negatives are telling you that there is no single paper that can be published in with two different wordings. Word and word perfect cannot happen. That's the meaning of a negative, that you cannot publish with these two, word and word perfect. That's the meaning of a negative. So it's a matter of interpreting a question and give it the way you want it. Or you can give them a 0, 0. It will be still the same. Am I clear on that? If something cannot happen,
no, I beg your pardon.
We are saying because a paper cannot be published with the different wordings, word and word perfect, the two cannot intersect here. We give them a negative to mean that these ones cannot happen. That's a negative. That's how we can generate them. So you can generate them with different figures again, and you come up with the two Nash equilibrium. So you don't necessarily say it must be 2, 1, and so on. No, you can give them other figures. The same way you can generate a game from here. I'll show you when you come back physically. Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Continue.
Another example of coordination game. Another example of coordination game is where there are two lovers, James and Tina, who want to meet for love affair. James and Tina, today is Women's Day. So James and Tina want to meet for love affair, maybe around the Valentine's Day. If James decides to call to discuss on where to meet, just moments after Tina picks up the phone, there is a technical problem, and there is a technical problem. There is a technical problem and the connection is broken. James's strategy is either to call back or to wait for Tina to call. If both call back, the line rings busy and both cannot talk and meet. If both of them decide to wait for the other's call, they wait longer and they won't talk and meet. The two equilibrium in this case is wait and a call, or call, wait. It does not matter who calls back, but only one person can call and the other must wait. So in this game, just tell me, between James and Tina, who is going to call back?
James.
James is going to call.
Tina.
Eh?
We can't know.
You can't know.
Okay. I think both of them can call. Like any of them can call.
But
Any can call.
Eh?
Either way.
The probability is half.
Lonnie, what are you saying?
Any of them can call.
I'm like, for the two, I think James can call or Tina can call.
Yes, that's what we know. One of the two has to call back if we are to meet.
Yes.
But the question is, who is going to call? Because there are two equilibriums.
We cannot tell here, sir.
You cannot what?
I cannot tell.
You cannot tell. Opi or Colin, who is going to call back between James and Tina?
Yes, I think it's James who will call first because he needs Tina most.
Yes?
I think it's James who will call.
It is James who is going to call. Why?
Yeah. Because he needs Tina most. He needs to meet Tina most.
Yes?
Hello?
So you're saying here that one of the methods of the coordination game is to attempt a pre-attempt game.
No, before you go there, I'm asking you who is going to call back.
All of them can call back.
No, but we are picking one.
Okay, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I think
To me, I think, sir, that if you're looking at Tina and James, first of all, we are saying that each of them can call, but you remember that James is the same guy who had started the love affair.
Okay.
James will call because
I think that James will be the one called.
James will call back since he needs Tina most.
Oh. It is not automatic. Jingo.
That this James will call because he was the original caller.
He was the original
Please
caller.
mute us.
Eh?
Yes.
So I want to see that coordination. Who is going to coordinate?
Mute everyone.
Eh?
I will coordinate.
You coordinate. You have to coordinate and one calls back. Because when you both of you call each other at the same time, the phone cannot go through. Do you agree?
The number will be
The number
will be busy calling.
Yeah.
True like that.
Okay. Now, this is how I have responded to it. That it does not matter who calls back, but only one person can call and the other must wait. Have you heard? Eh?
Okay.
One must do what?
Yes, sir.
Must wait.
But excuse me, sir. You've been asking us for the person that is going to call, and the reason that you're giving us is contradicting the question that you've been asking.
I'm not contradicting the
So
question,
according
but
to you,
sir,
is going to call us.
Eh? I'm not contradicting. I'm answering this question in this way, and you make your final judgment. I'm saying is
okay.
It does not matter who calls back, but only one person can call and the other must wait. So this is the solution here. Either call, wait, or wait, call. Now, in this current situation, the responsibility here, I'm saying the responsibility, the onus is on the original caller or one who needs the other one most. Have I answered you, sir?
Yeah.
One who needs the other one what? Most will call back. Am I clear?
Yes.
Am I clear? Between you and your girlfriend or your boyfriend, who needs the other one most?
Boyfriend.
All of us.
Just the same.
The way we call the verb.
Okay, now I'm
boy
giving
needs
you
the verb most.
I'm giving you an alternative of solving coordination game. One other method of solving coordination game is an attempt to preempt the game by making some type of move before the game.
Both.
No, I'm giving you another possible solution. You can always to know that, for example, in the previous case here, you may decide to call all your friends and inform them that if you ever make a call and it is interrupted, you never call them back. That implies that if those guys know that James doesn't call back, that means that the solution is for you to call back. Because James's behavior was already told. You know the behavior that this guy does not call back. That is pre-attempting the game. Have I answered you?
So what if now James calls first and you find that the Tina has gone for something and doesn't pick? What do we refer that one to now?
How do you what?
How do we refer to that?
When someone does not respond.
When somebody does not respond.
I'm designing this game in this way. Call, wait. Call, wait. So this is W. So one, we have call here. Both of them call. We said the phone link is busy. Here, they cannot meet when both of them call it. But call, wait, and wait, call is where they can meet. They can only meet here. Wait and wait. When both of them wait, they wait until Jesus comes. Here, no meeting. Meeting is not possible when everybody is waiting for the other to call back. And also when here, both of them call each other, they cannot meet. But one person has to call and the other one has to wait. So that is a game I'm trying to construct. Am I clear?
Okay, sir.
So I've given you James won't call back because he's ever broke. Okay, those are your answers, sir. I don't know. But the one who needs the other and must call back. So that is what I've given you solution to coordination games. How do you pick the best one? Okay. Question. The question is here. Consider two firms that are merging two divisions of large firms and have to choose a computer system to use. In the first, the two firms have used different systems, System I, and System A. Each firm prefers their own system, and the other one. So here, you see, firm 1 prefers System I because it gets higher payoff, and the firm 2 prefers System A. Why? Because the systems are not incompatible. You cannot have a computer system where both systems are applied. No. That's why here there is 0, 0. 0, 0, 0, 0. So how do you request for the new equilibrium? Assuming Credit Bank and DFCU are merging the two systems, which system are they going to adopt? Are they going to adopt for Credit Bank, or they are going to choose for that of DFCU?
They will want to use their own.
So let us solve the equilibrium. When firm 1 chooses System I, firm 2 responds with which one? If he responds here with A, it gets 0. If he responds with the System I, it gets 1. So 1 is higher than 0. So it will pick here. If firm 2 chooses System A, what happens? Firm 2 responds with which one? Here 0, here it gets a payoff of 2.
The 2.
If firm 2 if firm 2 uses System I, that means that they have locked you along this column. If they have locked you along this column, which one will you respond? Between the 2 and the 0, you respond with this one, because 2 is higher than the 0. If someone locks you along here, you respond with this one. Here you get a 0, here you get a 1. So you respond with 1 here. So what means that the equilibrium is either both firms choosing System I, or both firms choosing System A is the equilibrium. Which one will they end up with? I'm saying it will depend on some condition which I've told you in advance. They have to sit together and choose between Systems I, both firms adopting Systems I, or they're adopting Systems A. They have to coordinate. That's the meaning of coordination. They have to choose between this and this one. So that's the meaning of coordination games. We can also have a game where there is no equilibrium. We can also have a game where there is no equilibrium at all, where the two will not be in equilibrium, where the two will not have an equilibrium at all. So, and we are going to use the Nash equilibrium theorem that states that every game with the finite, the word is countable, number of players and the finite number of pure strategies has at least one Nash equilibrium. Therefore, as a result, a game with infinitely many strategies might have no equilibrium. In some situations, there can be players with opposing preferences. And in such cases, there will be no Nash equilibrium. When your preferences are opposing each other, you have no Nash what? Equilibrium. For example, we have an unestablished firm and a newcomer to the market of a fixed size. Have to choose the appearance of a product. Have to choose the appearance of a product. Each firm can choose between two different appearances for the product. Call them appearance, we are calling them A and a B. The established producer wants the newcomer's product to look different from its own. Why do you think that they want your new products? If you are coming to the market, your products want to look different, because you may ride on my own color or my own color, and people are used my product, and you take away my customers because they may think that the products are the same. While the newcomer wants its product to look exactly the same. In such a situation, the equilibrium would not exist, because your preferences are totally different. Do you agree? Do you agree?
Yes,
Can I
sir.
get some responses? Do you agree?
Yes, master.
Yes,
Why do you think that they won't have an equilibrium?
Yes.
Yes, doctor.
Yes?
Because
We
they are
have got
contradicting.
many.
They are what?
They are contradicting. There is some opposition between the two.
They have opposing preferences.
Yes.
For example, in your life, we have a legally married woman, okay, and a threat. You may call them a side dish. The side dish want to share the same man, but the legally married want to have the man alone. In that case, they won't have an equilibrium. Do you agree? Eh?
Yes.
Okay. When we do this, if farm 1 chooses appearance A, what will be the response of farm 2? Farm 2 respond with which one? You respond with B. If farm 1 chooses B, this one will respond with A. If this one chooses this, then this one respond with this. If this one chooses this, this one respond with this. At the end, there won't be any equilibrium there. So we can go to games of plain substitute and plain complements. Games of plain complements and plain substitutes. The payoffs. Remember the payoffs measured in terms of teacher to either partner in a relationship, like marriage. Like marriage is jointly determined by each one's effort they put in. Now I'm talking to you, as you undoubtedly know, one of the more important decisions you make in your own life is how much you put into your relationship. Am I clear, guys? Am I clear?
No.
Yes.
How much effort you are going to put into your relationship will determine its success.
Yes.
Do you agree that?
It depends.
Yes.
It depends on what?
No. Yes.
Now I'm teaching you the relationship game. Listen properly. In this relationship game,
True.
in the relationship game, because both of you have payoffs, do you agree? There are two players. There is a man and a woman. Both of them are players in that game, and they have payoffs. So in this relationship game, the strategy space, the strategies you make should be a set, should be continuous. Don't stop. It is and must be a set of non-negative real numbers. Have you heard? A set of what?
Pardon, sir.
It must be a
Non-negative
set of
real numbers.
non-negative real numbers. So when you buy somebody a car, that is positive. You buy someone a dress, that is positive. Buy someone land, that is positive. If you go for cheating, that is negative. Have you heard?
No.
Yes.
So if you cheat on your boyfriend, that is not positive. Surprise your boyfriend with a land title.
So this is Uganda.
This is what?
Uganda.
That can't be.
Eh? The one who does what? Madam, what are you saying? Madam, I want to listen to you. We have said a set of non-negative real numbers. So you must know the non-negative. Don't do things that are negative. The strategy space is continuous. The moment you stop, the relationship stops there. His Excellency Muzukuru, why are you talking in my class? Joseph, I've not allowed you to talk. Joseph. Now, as you have known from there, you have seen games of playing substitute and lecturing on Women's Day is a negative. Women give some, women giving some on Women's Day is a positive. You give me a Women's Day gift, it is positive. Put in baby. Depend on the tribe of the girl. Doctor is trying to spell relationship here. No. Derek, you guys, I'm teaching game theory. So I've said game theory, the relationship game is a game which is a set of non-negative numbers. The strategies, use different strategies to get more payoffs. The moment you buy someone a car, you gives you more. Also, the payoff, your payoff will increase. Now, games, we are looking at games of playing substitute and playing complements. Games in which each one's payoff diminish as the value of the other one's strategy is called a game of playing substitute. A game of playing complement is a game in which each one's payoff increase as the other strategy increases. We are saying games of playing substitute, the players impose negative externalities on each other, while games of playing complements, they impose positive externalities on each other. Meaning that in games of playing complements, what you do supplements what I'm getting. As you do more, I'm also gaining more. But in games of playing substitute, as you do something more, I'm losing out. For example, two teenagers who compete for attention by spending money on clothing, makeup, to improve their appearance, are playing a game of playing substitute. Why? Because as one teen spends more on herself to look more beautiful, the man is more attracted from the other girl to this girl, for example. That means that the other one is losing out as this one spends on herself more. That becomes a game of playing substitute. Am I clear?
Yes.
Am I
Oh,
clear?
Salah.
Eh?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm comparing games. I'm saying a game of playing substitute, players impose negative externalities on each other. Assuming two campusers, like I saw them last time in a video, two campusers fighting for a boyfriend. As someone is beautifying herself to look more beautiful, you put lipstick, you put makeup, you design the hair, you buy expensive gifts to your boyfriend. It means that the boyfriend is going to be more attracted to you, and the other girl you are competing with to win someone whose heart is losing out. That means that the more you spend money on yourself, the more the other loses out. That becomes the game of playing substitute, because as you inject yourself more money in yourself or in your boyfriend, the other one is losing out. That is called a game of playing substitute. Am I clear, guys? Am I clear?
Yes.
Who is saying just raise up your hand? Someone has said that is called Okwetega. As you do more Okwetega, the other one is losing out. But games of playing compliments, I think this should be played in terms of like Muslims, for example. They have to share the man, so they have to compliment each other, isn't it? Because both of them, if they, I think they benefit from their man, don't they? Just a question. What do you think? What do you think, guys? I want some responses. Now, also Fiona, speak to us.
Yes, the benefit, because should he be absent or will lose? So they both
of them will lose. Okay, that is fine. Okay, that is a good one. Next. Next is which one? Do we have another response? What about playing compliments? Playing compliments, both of benefit. For example, two roommates who smoke in a room of a common airspace are playing a game of playing substitutes, because each one of them is adversely affected by the other. On the other hand, a game of playing compliments, two roommates who devote their effort in keeping their compound clean are playing a game of playing compliments. Assuming that there are two roommates who sleep in Lumumba, the more you clean the room, everybody benefits. Why? If you bring your girlfriend, also finds a clean room, it appreciates both. Even me, I gain if my girlfriend also comes, in case that happens. Have you understood game playing compliments? When you discuss together in a group, that is called a game of playing what?
Compliments.
Discuss together in a group, that is called a game of playing
compliments.
Because both of you improve your performance. Do you agree?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, yes, but if you compete with each other when you are hiding everything from each other, that is called a discoordination game. Am I clear?
Excuse me, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes, please, sir. Elizabeth.
Like for the other example that you've given us about.
For what?
For the two ladies who are the two ladies that are having makeup and then they're injecting money in themselves so that they look attractive to a guy.
They look at what?
I thought this is like so that they become attractive to a guy. I thought it's plain compliment. Since now the guy is getting advantageous of 2, and then he can, you know, he can mark stuff when they are 2. Like if it's 1, it does not work
the
out.
message, sir. The message is these two ladies are competing for one boyfriend. They want to win someone's heart, and this guy cannot go with the 2 of them because of jealousy, you know, ladies. So as one, in fact, they fight even if a man, because if someone fights with his man, he can fight. So as someone is beautifying herself to look more very beautiful, it means that even you are forced to take away his time. Can you spend the whole day with both of them?
Yes, sir.
With one at a time. So as if you spend 10 hours the other side, here you may spend the balance for 14 hours. So as this one beautifies herself, the time of the other reduces. Do you agree? One is losing out as the other looks more beautiful.
But it's still advantageous to the guy. He has
when
now
both
2
of them
options.
are competing.
Yes, he can either begin by eating and then sleep, or sleep and then eat. So he has 2 options.
No, but what I'm saying in terms of ladies, who is gaining and who is losing out? I'm looking at the payoffs of these ladies. If you find one is very dirty and the other is very, very smart, what do? You go with the dirty one or you go with the clean one?
Sir, both.
You go both.
The so clean one.
You go with both. And one is smelling and
yes,
the other is not smelling.
You know.
You have to express manhood. You have to express manhood.
I go with my crush.
Okay, but what we are aiming to not lose the message that
you might be smart, but your head is in.
Okay, can you be in a position to convince 2 canvassers that both of them are your boyfriend, and you sleep them on one bed? Can you bring the 2 on one bed? Oh, the 3.
That is true about those guys are
possible.
One is going to lose out, of course, assuming that there are 2 markets, MTN and Airtel. They're only here. Do you think they can act as MTN advertises more? Airtel is losing more customers. That's called a game of playing what? Substitute. Can you get it in that context? Yes? Is that okay?
For you. No.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. One is going to lose out in terms of market share. Do you agree?
Yes, for market share, we agree.
Okay. Okay, let me proceed. Zero-sum game. Zero-sum game is a simple game where one's payoff, one's gain is equal to the other one's loss, and that game is called a zero-sum game. The sum of the payoff is equivalent to 0. The sum of the payoff is equivalent to 0. Am I clear there? The sum of their payoff is equivalent to what? 0. The sum of their payoff is equivalent to what? 0. For example, if I drop this game here, is it a zero-sum game? I put 2, -2. I put 1, -1. I put 3, -3. I put 3. I put 4. I put -4. Is that a zero-sum game?
Yeah.
The sum of this payoff here, 2 and -2 is 0. 3 and -3 is 0. 1 and -1 is 0. 4 and -4 is 0. So that means that is called a zero-sum game where one who's loss is equivalent to the other who's gain. For example, in duopoly, if there are two firms, MTN and Airtel, and they are sharing a market, if this one gets 20% and the other gets 80%, if this one, his market loses to market share increases to 40, it means that he has lost, he has gained 20.
David,
the other must lose 10%.
We are not sharing. You guys are disturbing. Please mute.
That is called a zero-sum game. So it means that one who's loss is equivalent to the other one who's gain. That is what we call a zero-sum game. Kevin, what is the issue? Unmute.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
My issue has been with the examples you've been giving us. I've been hearing people complaining. For example, like the last person who complained, he was complaining about having and what, but when he gave him an example of Jumia, of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, he understood. I was just requesting that I wish you could also give some economic examples instead of relationship examples, because some of us
I'm not getting you properly, sir. What is the issue?
I was saying the examples
let
you've been
others
giving
first
us.
mute. Let others mute, please. Apart from Leonard, can you mute yourself, please? And we listen to Kevin. Yeah. Speak again, please.
So I was just requesting that on top of the relationship examples,
yes,
you also give us economic examples, because someone was arguing recently.
Yeah.
And when you gave them an example about Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they understood. But at first he was arguing that he can have two girlfriends and he's benefiting. So I was just requesting for some economical examples, because it would help me understand better, because also the relationship examples, some of us are perverted.
Some of you are what?
Some of you are what? Perverted.
You are converted. All examples I give are economics, sir.
Not really.
Akazungu. They are economics, Kevin. Economics is about the study of individuals, firms, and their interaction in the market.
Yes, sir. Now, I'm just requesting that when you give us an example, individuals.
First listen. The individuals have talked about. The individuals have talked about two individuals. How do you interact? And how do you interact? That is in your relationship. For example, I've given you in the introduction of last lecture, when I was introducing, I told you that this game theory is going to be discussing about interaction between different individuals, different firms, different governments, and so on. So when I've given you an example, for example here, consider two firms are merging into two divisions. This is an example of firms. I've also given you battle of sexes game. Why is it called battle of sexes? Because for you to coordinate between a man and a woman is an example of two individuals interacting together and having two Nash equilibriums. So the word equilibrium is an economics. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So it's not about, for you,
thank you.
Now your mind has gone on that man and woman are interacting. But I'm saying the message we are communicating, they have two preferences. One prefers, preferences are taught in utility. Do you know that?
Yes, sir.
Is utility an economic concept?
Yes, it is.
When I say the man prefers football over basketball, isn't it economics?
It's economics.
So, and here I'm teaching it in the context of game what?
Theory.
Game theory. I've said consider two academic tutors. These are two individuals. What do you need?
No, sir, I was just saying that I remember very well when you taught us about the players. You told us individuals are players, firms are players. and governments are players.
Yes.
But I was just requesting that whenever you give us, like how you explained to the previous person, you give him
I use all
very
of
nice
them. I
example.
use the farms, I use the governments, I use the individuals. And in these individuals, I've given, for example, games of playing, I've said coordination games. I've given you 3 different examples, or even 4. I've given you 2 partners who are in a relationship. They want to meet for love affair, and the payoffs I've not given, but I'm saying the final equilibrium, one has to wait, the other one has to, they have to pick one. That's the main message there. I've given you 2 firms merging software, and I've said in the end they have to choose between the 2 softwares. That's an example of coordination games. I've said I've said this is all this, whatever example I teach here, everything is the way I examine economics. So don't teach me relationship in terms of history. No, I'm teaching game theory. That's why I'm using these examples in terms of game theory.
So I risked my
the
case.
Same way, if you give
I've
me that
actually
example that this one is going to meet for a love affair, and you are bringing it in a context of a game theory, that is it. And it is the textbooks is also there on that course outline. You'll find those examples. Am I clear, sir?
Yes, I rest my case. I'm sorry for
you
wasting
even
our
go
time.
there and find those examples in those textbooks. The way I've given them.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't go in the other. For you are looking at love making sex. No. I'm looking at the payoff. What do you get if you do there? Okay. And why do you? I'm looking at what motivates you to go for that relationship is the payoff. Am I clear? That payoff which you get when you go for that game is what I'm teaching. Am I clear? So I've told you 2 ladies competing for attention. That is an example. It can also be 2 firms competing for market. One is losing, the other one is gaining. That is also an example of 2 firms. Okay. Zero-sum game, I'm done with that. I've given you an example. We can also have an example
with some game. Excuse me,
coordination. Games of discoordination and the games of mixed strategies. Listen very carefully here. Games of discoordination and the games of mixed strategies. I'm saying games of discoordination. Okay? Discoordination will have also no equilibrium. Games of discoordination will have no equilibrium. No Nash equilibrium in discoordination games here. No Nash equilibrium. That's what you have to note in discoordination games. And what are we saying? What we are saying is, consider a party game where 2 ladies choose to attend one of the two weddings. One lady, Rita, wants to attend the same party as the other one, Kase. While Kase wants to avoid Rita. Have you picked that message?
Yes, sir.
Have you picked that message? One wants to be with Rita.
Continue.
The other want to avoid the other. The other example can be a pastor here who was recently introduced and denied. The wife wants to be with her and the man does not want. So Kase wants to avoid Rita and Rita wants to be with Kase. So this is how I formulated this game. That when Rita attends party A, Kase loses out if they are on the same party. But if Rita is on different party, Kase gains because they don't want to be together. That's how I formatted. In this case, if you try to solve the Nash equilibrium, you won't have any Nash equilibrium here. You won't have any Nash equilibrium. You won't have any equilibrium because these two will never sit together and agree to be in the same place. Am I clear with these coordination games?
No.
I'm saying these coordination games, they want to have, they won't be in an equilibrium. Kathy, remember this is an example where Rita want to attend the same party as Kathy, meaning that Rita will gain when they are on the same party. Either party A, Rita gains 1, or they are on the same party, party B, Rita gains. But Kathy want to avoid Rita. So they won't have an equilibrium in that case. That's a message I'm delivering here. Now, when I come to mixed strategies, we arise if the strategies are chosen randomly, and also you are playing a game where one party wins and another one loses. And each player has the capacity to conceal or to hide their strategies. The equilibrium strategies is going to be mixed strategies. The examples here, we have sports and terrorism. If we know Man U is playing Man City, if you use the 4-4-2 game style and you lost the other time, it means that if you continue with the same style, you lose the game. So you have to keep on changing your strategies. When it comes to terrorists will always keep on changing, applying mixed strategies. The strategy which they used to win the previous time, it is already known to the other player. So they have to get new strategies of winning this time. Russia and Ukraine. If you know Ukraine is very strong on the ground, they have to change, Russia has to change the tactics if it is to win. So the moment you use one strategy this time, it is known to the other player. So if you continue using that strategy, you may lose out the game. So that means that the equilibrium strategies you are going to use must keep on changing such that you remain not predictable. If you copied last time using a handout, this time change. Because if you were caught last time using a handout, and this time you also use a handout, you'll be caught again. So you have to use mixed strategies, meaning that you keep on changing because the game is repetitive in nature. You have to keep on changing your strategies. That's the meaning of mixed strategies. Surprise us and change your tactics of coping. If you are a terrorist, if the other time they invaded in a bar, this time they went to a bus. The other time they went to CPS. They keep on changing. They are not predictable when they will come. And they don't repeat the same strategy they used last time. That means that they apply mixed strategies. Am I clear? Am I clear? What is the issue?
Yes, the other time we had the 2, we had the 0, we had the negative. So for this case, I'm asking.
Yeah.
I cannot just find a question where I have to determine those combinations. Because
here,
for that
I've
case,
just formulated, you can even formulate it using any numbers. I can put a 2 here. I can put a 1 here. These are numbers.
Likewise, you can have a negative.
But the message should be 1, Kathy gains, Rita gains when they are together with Kathy. That's the formulation you have to think about. Okay, that's the main message there. So don't worry about the numbers. This one you can formulate by thinking your own and say who gains. Who gains means that you give that person a higher payoff than the other. That's the meaning of gaining and the other losing out. The one who loses, you can give him a 0 or even a negative. That's a message you should be having in your head. Am I clear?
Yes.
You can form it with your own figures.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, wish of Fiona, what's the problem?
Does it mean that to accord those numbers, it depend who is going to win and give them the rank?
Who is gaining, depending on the message they have given you, who is gaining and who is losing out? They are saying Cathay gains when they are together on the same party. So either party A or party B. When both of them together, this one means that must get a higher pay of Cathay, Rita. Excuse me. So I'll show you how we formulate these numbers. I want to go to about 2 slides remaining. I want to talk about sequential games. Sequential games. Sequential games are games where you play in phases. In phase 1, in phase 2, one moves before the other. One moves before the other. Those are called sequential games. This implies that players who move first have the ability to influence the game, and the players who move later in the game have additional information what other players have done in a game. So that means that this can be represented by what we call extensive form. Extensive form of games, which we studied. Extensive form is an example of sequence. One player moves first before the other. Like in oligopoly, we have leaders and followers. One makes a decision, one determines an output first, then the other followers moves later in the game. That is one I can talk about here. Example, consider a coordination game, which we studied the previous James and Tina. They can be, we can represent this game in a tree diagram. Here. Here. So they are choosing between the two, word path, word, and word perfect. This one is, I don't know who's going to move first. This one is either who moves second, word or word perfect, word or word perfect here. So the 4 equilibriums here, we have word and the word. Word and the word is the 2-1 here. We have word and the word perfect. Word and the word perfect is this one. We have a word perfect first here, then with word, which is here, which is coming with this payoff, and then finally this. So if we had solved this equilibrium, we solve these equilibriums using a methodology called backward induction. We use a method that is called backward induction. And in this case, we start with the second player. We start with the second player, and we cross out all those branches that will never be chosen by player 2. We use backward induction. In this case, if you look here, along these branches, player 2 has a payoff 2 here and negative 2 here. Which branch will never be chosen? This one, which has negative 2, we cross it out.
Negative 2.
Yeah, we cross out that. That player 2 will never choose that branch because you get a lower payoff. What about here? Here he has a payoff of 1. Here he has a payoff of negative 2. Which branch will never be chosen by player 2?
-2.
-2. This one will never be chosen. We cross out that branch. Now we move backward to player 1. If we move backward, we ask ourselves, between this player, these two branches, this one and this one, which branch will never be chosen by player 1? When he moves here, he gets to a payoff of 1. When he follows this branch, he gets a payoff of 2. Which one will never be chosen?
1.
1. So this one is cancelled out. This one is cancelled out, and the final equilibrium will remain with only word and word. Word and word.
Hello?
The payoff, which is 2, 1. That means that the coordination game, if we use backward induction, it is able to determine player 1 who moves first is able to influence the game, and they go with the word perfect because it is what he prefers most. That is called, in this case, that is one way of solving inertial coordination game. And coordination game is a game of sub-perfect that is not, does not yield a perfect equilibrium, because it gives you two equilibriums, and the two equilibriums are not optimal. Does not give you the best outcome to choose from. So I want to stop at that.
Excuse me,
some applications. Oligopole.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, and that marks the end of game theory. Yes,
sir,
please.
Pardon on the example for zero-sum game.
Zero-sum.
Pardon.
Zero-sum
Yes.
is, we said one whose loss is equal to the other one whose gain. Am I clear?
Yes.
One whose loss is equal to the other one whose what? Gain. For example, if you are playing a game of you guys who toss, who bet, who do betting. If you are with a Muyindi, he gains 1,000, you lose 1,000. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes? Is that true?
Yeah.
What you lose is what he gains. Do you agree?
Master.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Uh-huh.
Can you repeat this current example?
Of what?
The one of backward induction.
The one of what?
Backward induction.
Backward induction, okay. Let me do a new share with a new screen. New share, whiteboard. Here. Let me give you an example here. For example, with the different payoffs. Assuming this is A, player 1 has strategies B, this one has C, D, E. Here it is 2-1. This is 4-5. I'm just putting numbers. This is 6-0. This one is 8-9. This is 0-1. This is 0-2. I want to see the equilibrium there, and I'm going to put it on our game tree. How do I represent this? Player 1 has 2 strategies, and this one has 3. So I put the 2 strategies here. That is A. Those are the branches, A and B. This one has how many? Has 3 strategies, so I put 3 branches.
Three branches.
I put 3 branches, 1, 2, and 3. I put 1, 2, and 3. In this case, he has C, D, E. I put C, D, and E. I put C, D, and E here. When it comes to the payoffs, what is SC? SC, which payoff do you have here?
2-1.
2-1. What is AD?
4-5.
4-5. What is AE?
6-0.
6-0. What is B? BC?
8-9.
8-9. What is the BD?
0-1.
0-1. What is the BE? 0-2. Now we start with the player 2. Which branches will never be chosen by player 2 along here? Between this and this and this, which one will never be chosen by player 2?
D and E.
E and D. Do you agree? Here he has 9, here he has 1, here he has 2. Which will never be chosen? D and E. You cross out this.
D and E.
D and E will never be chosen by that player. You cross out that. What about here? Which will never be chosen? Which branches will never be chosen by player 2? This is player 2.
C and E.
C and E. We cross out this and this one. Now we turn to player 1. We turn player 1. When he goes, he picks this branch, he gets 8. Do you agree here?
Yes.
When he picks this branch, he gets a 4. Which one will never be chosen?
The one with
D.
the 4.
You will never choose which branch?
The one with the 4. AD.
You will never choose that branch. And the final equilibrium becomes what?
BC.
BC, which is the payoff, which is 8-9. The equilibrium strategy are B and C. These are strategies. These are the payoffs. Is it clear now?
Yes.
No, sir.
Eh?
If you could follow the also with Doctor, we want have got you.
Yes, sir. I have been following, but what are we doing?
We are solving equilibrium using backward induction.
Hey, okay. Thank you. Where there are more than 2 situations. Thank you.
Yes, you can. Where there are more than 2 situations, this backward induction can give you one answer from the 3. Okay. These 2. MC, can you tell us something?
Okay, so my question is, in determining where the individual pick, do we get the product or we go by the first value?
Do we get the what?
In getting the side that this man is going to choose or to cancel, do we get the sum?
No, we are not looking at the sums. We are looking at each one's payoff separately. Am I clear? For example, we have this game. Let me make them with so many strategies. This one may have 3. Here, he has a payoff of 1, -1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 4, 0. I'm just putting numbers randomly. Strategies A, B, C, and D. This one is 4, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 0, -1, 1, 0, 2, 5, 4, 6. So how do you draw this? Maybe E strategy is E, F, and a G. If I'm to draw, I put how many branches here? The first player has how many branches? 3. That is E, F, and a G. The second player has how many branches? Has 4. So I do 4 here. I do 4 here. I do 4 here. So this is what? A, B, C, D. You do the same. So what is the payoff here? EA. EA is which one? Is 1 negative 1.
1 negative 1.
Here is EB is what?
2 1.
2 1.
2 1.
2 1. EC 3 2.
3 2.
4 0. 4 0. Now, if I'm crossing out which branches will never be chosen by player 2 along here, I'm comparing here the payoff is 1, here the negative 1 here, 1 here, 2 here, 0 here. Which one is the best for player 2? Is this one, isn't it? So I cross out all these other branches. I don't add them their payoffs. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes, Dr.
Yeah, that's how you do that. And you continue like that. What are you saying?
Pardon.
Excuse me, sir.
Tell you which.
Okay, sir. Does it mean that if we go by player A, we shall go by D?
Here, we shall go by what?
If we go by the first player, shall we choose D?
Shall we choose E? No, you have to continue. You have to continue this game. Here.
No, just my question was on that one.
4 0. That is FA. Here, FB is what? 1 1. Here, 2 2. Here, 3 2. Which one will never be chosen by player 2 there? Here he gets 2.
A will not be chosen.
Which one will never to be chosen? This one also want to be chosen, isn't it? And this one. Okay. I think I can change one here and I leave this C. Maybe I put a 4. This was a 4, yeah. This was a 4. So what about this was a 4, the last one was a 4. So what about here? You will choose C. So if you are to compare, here what do we have? G 0 1. Here 1 0. 2 5. And a 4 0. Which one will never be chosen by player? I think this one of 5, so the rest are out. This one is out, this one is out, this one is also out. So what about player 1 now? Player 1 is here. This was the rest was player 2. Player 1 along here. If he passes here, he gets a payoff of 4, of 2. If he passes here, he gets a payoff of 3. If he passes here, he gets here. So you choose this one of 4. That's how you solve the we are ending. That's the end of chapter 2. When you come back, I'll remain with one
I'm
topic.
having an online lecture. They put a lecture. So I move
What?
away from there. Sir,
Excuse me, doctor.
The class has
you are
ended, guys.
talking about personal element.
Doctor, lecture.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Yes, please.
A personal dilemma.
I want to the last figure true and
Don't talk about the Squid Game.
I do what?
I'm asking.
Uh-huh.
What if the last figures are 2 and are equal?
What if the two are what?
Are the same. Like the values are the same when you're choosing.
They are equally preferred. The person remaining different between the two. That is the coordination we are talking about that will come in. Okay.
Pardon, Doctor?
When you have like you are saying a 2 here, and also in another side you also have a 2. The 2, you remain indifferent. You cannot choose between the two because they are 2 are equal. I'm asking you a simple question, sir. Boss.
You ask it.
If you have 2 girlfriends and both of them are equally preferred, what do you do? And you want to marry one, what do you do?
You just have to go with the option and enjoy both.
You do what?
It is impossible.
Enjoy both. Enjoy both. You marry both. Enjoy both.
Enjoy both. Okay.
Doctor, I didn't understand the coordination game.
If they are twins, it can't be
We
the same.
have understood.
But they are equally
Can you
preferred. What
kindly
do you
share
do?
just the recording?
They are twins. What do you do? They are equally preferred. What do you do?
You choose the sweet.
You choose randomly.
You choose
You choose
randomly.
the
Okay,
sweet
sir.
test.
That is okay. You choose randomly and go with one. Okay.
So like, I think they are different. So you must get the differentiating factor.
You must impose another factor to separate.
Yes, you have to look for a differentiating factor because ladies can never be the same.
Okay. Okay.
Doctor, I wanted to hello.
Got it, guys.
Doctor,
speak.
What are you talking about? Rashid,
I
what is
wanted
the
you to
issue?
help me explain.
So what's your next topic?
Choice making and uncertainty is the last topic. Choice making and uncertainty. Choice making. Do you make a choice? So we are going to make a choice where we are not certain. We are going to make a decisions where we are not certain of the outcome. Okay, guys, the class has ended here.
So when do we have the test and which topic?
The test you ask the head of the paper will communicate. I don't know. You know that.
Doctor, can you share with us the recording given for last time?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
Excuse me, sir.
Uh-huh.
Now you have finished, you have completed the topic today, but like our class, I don't remember even the first day you started this topic, but now you are saying you have ended this. We never received any link for the introduction of this topic. How are we going to cope up now? I'm saying you have completed this topic, but we did not receive the link actually when you were introducing.
But I shared the same link has been applied.
I don't know when you first
I've never
had the
changed
class.
the link. And the notes I shared them.
What about recordings of all those lectures?
What?
Recordings of all those lectures.
I've been sharing with Alex. You go to Alex, he will give you.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Okay, I want to go, guys.
Bye.
Who is Alex?
So who is Alex?
Who is what?
Class rep.
Alex.
Alex. Be a code.
Be a code.
Yeah. And he's there. Alex, speak to the people.
Yes, doctor. Can you read on me?
Give them your phone number.
Hello, doctor.
Give them your phone number, please.
I read it.
I'm going to end the class soon.
Wait.
Guys, have a nice day.